Libra horoscope, Saturn retrograde journey from August 23rd, 2025 to February 13th, 2026. A turning of the cosmic wheel. Hello Libra, from August 23rd, 2025 until February 13th, 2026. The skies set into motion one of the most transformative chapters of your year. Saturn, the great taskmaster of karma, responsibility, and long-term growth, begins its retrograde motion, pulling backward across the heavens, and with it, pulling you back into a deep reflection of your own life. Now, if you're born between October 17th and November 15th in thaiastrology, or September 23rd to October 22nd in Western astrology, this retrograde is especially significant for you. Saturn doesn't just move randomly. It enters your fifth house, the house of children, creativity, investment, and joy. This is where themes of responsibility meet themes of play, where lessons meet passions, where karma meets creativity. And over these 6 months, you'll feel the weight and wisdom of Saturn encouraging you not only to reflect but also to reshape your destiny. But don't worry, this isn't all about struggle. In fact, for Libra, this retrograde can bring a remarkable sense of relief, renewed opportunities, and even unexpected luck, especially connected to your past efforts. Let's break this down. Saturn retrograde. What it means for you. Saturn retrograde is like a cosmic audit. Imagine an inspector coming in, not to punish, but to check your foundations. Are your plans strong? Are your commitments sustainable? Are your investments wise? Saturn retrograde forces us to review, revise, and restructure. For Libra, the review shifts away from heavy burdens of the past, like family struggles, debts, or obligations that have weighed on you since May, and toward a lighter, more expansive arena, your fifth house. This is where you get to revisit creativity, children, love affairs, risks, and investments. It's a house of joy, but Saturn reminds you, joy must be built on structure. Passion must be guided by wisdom. Creativity must be disciplined to bloom into success. So what does this mean in practice? Let's go through the 3 core themes Saturn retrograde brings you. 1. Relief from burdens. The lifting of pressure for many Libras. The months leading up to this retrograde may have felt heavy. You may have been carrying family responsibilities, financial strain, or debts that made you feel restricted. With Saturn moving into your fifth house, those weights begin to ease. If you've been supporting family financially, you may finally see relief, debts reduced, income steadying, or unexpected financial help arriving. If you've been tied down by household matters, you may notice fewer conflicts and more cooperation within the family. And if you've been dealing with health or stress issues caused by pressure, this retrograde signals a period of gradual healing. Example: imagine you've been struggling to pay off a lingering loan, constantly sacrificing your personal happiness for practical duties. Saturn retrograde here could bring unexpected relief. Perhaps a family member steps in to help, or you discover an overlooked source of income from a past investment. Suddenly, the weight is lighter and you can breathe again. For Libra, this isn't just about money. It's about balance, your sign's ultimate goal. You'll feel that the scales are finally tipping in your favor after months of being lopsided. 2. Investment and luck. Seeds from the past Saturn retrograde in your fifth house also activates themes of investment, creativity, and luck. But here's the catch. Saturn rewards long-term effort, not shortcuts. This means that opportunities during this period often come from seeds you've planted in the past. Old projects, past investments, or even forgotten talents may resurface, asking for your attention once again. If you've been working on a creative project but left it unfinished, this is the time to revisit it. Saturn retrograde says, pick it back up, polish it. This is your moment. If you've invested in something before, stocks, land, or even education, you may see delayed rewards coming in now. If you've been teaching, mentoring, or raising children, this is when you see the results of your patience and discipline begin to show. Example: let's say years ago, you invested in a small plot of land, but its value barely moved. During this retrograde, conditions shift and suddenly buyers appear, offering you a profitable return. Or imagine you started writing a book or developing a business idea but abandoned it due to lack of time. Saturn retrograde now brings a spark of motivation and circumstances aligning to help you finish what you once began. It's not random luck, it's karma meeting timing. 3. Financial uplift. The return of stability. One of the clearest gifts of this retrograde is financial. Why? Because Saturn is moving out of opposition to your second house of money. Earlier this year, many Libras faced unexpected expenses, unstable income, or obligations that drained resources. Saturn retrograde lifts this direct pressure. That doesn't mean you'll suddenly win the lottery, but it does mean income becomes steadier. Unexpected gains arrive. Past efforts finally pay off. Example: perhaps you've been battling constant expenses, car repairs, family obligations, or debts that seemed never ending. Now these begin to reduce. Maybe you get a tax refund, or an old client suddenly pays you back. Even small windfalls feel like huge relief. For Libra, money is often tied to relationships. You spend on those you love, you share with family, you invest in beauty and balance. This retrograde allows you to feel more secure, making generosity feel joyful again instead of stressful. The spiritual lesson: responsibility meets joy beyond finances and obligations. Saturn's retrograde through your 5th house carries a deeper spiritual message. It asks you, how do you balance responsibility with joy? Are you investing time in what makes your heart sing? Are you nurturing your creativity with structure, or letting it go to waste? Are you guiding your children or projects with discipline, but also love? For Libra, this is a chance to rediscover the balance between duty and pleasure. Saturn teaches you that joy is not frivolous. It's sacred when built on the right foundation. Saturn and Rahu, a powerful partnership. Here's another twist: Saturn doesn't move alone. In your 5th house, it joins Rahu, the North Node, the planet of desires, expansion, and destiny. Together, they form a powerful partnership. Rahu pushes you toward bold, creative risks. Saturn forces you to take those risks seriously, grounding them in reality. This means your projects during this retrograde may feel both exciting and intimidating. It's as if the universe hands you a big opportunity but also demands, do the work, prove your commitment. Example: you might get the chance to launch a startup, enter a competition, or even pursue a creative career. Rahu tempts you with a vision, while Saturn reminds you, don't rush, build the foundation. If you can balance the two, this period could set the stage for life-changing success. Love and relationships. The heart's test of 5th house isn't only about creativity and money. It's also the house of romance and love affairs. Saturn retrograde here means your love life could feel like both a test and a blessing. If you're single, you may reconnect with an old flame, or realize that what you seek in love requires more maturity than before. If you're in a relationship, you may need to work on balance between personal freedom and commitment, between joy and responsibility. If you're parents, your children may become a focus, demanding patience and guidance. Example: imagine you've been dating casually but feel restless. Saturn retrograde might make you reconsider. Are you looking for a deeper commitment? Or maybe your long-term partner suddenly needs more support, testing your patience, but also strengthening your bond. This isn't about romance fading, it's about making love real. Saturn wants you to see relationships not just as passion, but as partnerships built on responsibility and mutual growth. Career and creative ventures. Though the retrograde highlights personal joy, its ripple effects reach your career. Creative professions. Artists, performers, designers, writers may feel both pressure and breakthrough. You'll be asked to refine your craft, not just rely on inspiration. Those in business may find investment opportunities resurfacing, especially in tech, education, or entertainment. Libras in leadership may discover their ideas gaining traction, but only if they're backed by discipline and strategy. Example: say you've been working in marketing, but you've always had a passion for design. Saturn retrograde may force you to face that desire. Perhaps you get a side project that tests your skills, and through discipline, you realize you could transform this hobby into a career. Saturn doesn't give overnight fame, but it gives lasting recognition when you commit. Practical guidance: how to thrive during this retrograde. So how can Libra make the most of this 6-month journey? Here are some practical steps. 1. Revisit old projects. Dust off that manuscript, business idea, or creative venture. This is the time to finish what you started. 2. Invest wisely. Think long-term. Property, education, or children's futures may be worth focusing on now. 3. Balance joy with duty. Don't sacrifice play for work or work for play. Saturn asks you to integrate both. 4. Stay patient in love. Relationships may require extra effort, but patience now builds long-term harmony. 5. Look for karmic returns. Be open to blessings from past efforts, whether financial, creative, or personal. Closing: a time of rebalancing, dear Libra. Saturn retrograde from August 23rd, 2025 to February 13th, 2026 is not a punishment. It's a gift of balance. It frees you from old burdens, reminds you of the power of disciplined joy, and offers you unexpected rewards from seeds you've already planted. Yes, there will be moments of reflection, responsibility, and even challenge. But through it all, you'll find that the scales of your life, so often tilted, are slowly, steadily returning to balance. This is your time to rediscover your joy, refine your creativity, and reclaim your destiny. So step forward with grace, Libra. Saturn is not your enemy, it's your teacher. And by February 2026, you'll see just how much you've grown, not only in wealth or stability, but in wisdom, maturity, and inner peace.